So a lot of mornings I like to sit and watch what I call the reverse sunrise. Facing west, the line of the sun moves down this hill across the way as the sun rises in the east behind me. And as it does, the light will often come in through my window and shine on the walls, and I love the way the light travels around my space throughout the day. And this morning I happened to notice a sunray landing on an old piece of art I made as a kid, really. I think I was, I don't know, somewhere between 12 and probably 14 when I drew this. This piece I thought was lost for years, and then when my mother passed away in 2019, we went through her files and I rediscovered a lot of the art that I had made as a kid. This is one of them. It was chewed up by time and water damage, but it's still there, and I don't really think about it all that much. But this morning when the sun rays hit it, I recognized this piece was a real turning point for me. I had discovered pointillism. It was actually J.R.R. Tolkien, the art of Tolkien, the writer of The Lord of the Rings, that taught me about pointillism, and I became intrigued by this. And so I started doing pointillistic style calligraphy, and I would do nameplates. I would do people's names with this very calligraphic, detail-oriented stuff. And this piece, this was the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, and they've always had a large art component to that. And so I submitted this piece, and it actually won a ribbon for my age group and category. It is a very different theme for me. It is a deeply Texas theme. And it's basically a pointillistic picture of a beer stein being slid down the bar and grabbed by a cowboy. And the entire thing is made out of dots. There's no drawn lines. Where I wanted a line to be, I would just put a series of dots until the line became visible. And I, spent hours, these thousands of tiny little dots. And this sun shining on it just made it pop out in my mind. And so I thought I'd tell this little story about my relationship with Texas. Growing up, my father's Texan, born and bred. My mother is French. Immigrated to the United States when she was 19. She fell in love with Texas in a completely romanticized way. In France, with one of her best friends, she saw the movie Giant, which starred James Dean, a big Texas oil soap opera, basically. She fell in love with James Dean.
I guess you're about the best looking gal we've seen around here in a long time. Prettiest than I think I've seen down here.
Why, thank you, Jen. And I'm going to tell my husband I met with your approval.
Oh, well, no, I wouldn't do that. I mean, well... Talk to me, Father.
When she met my dad, who looked about like James Dean back then, she romanticized him and his beauty, and a Texan, she just fell in love with the whole idea of marrying an American, marrying a Texan, moving to Texas, living with James Dean. But of course that was the romance and not the reality. Reality was much harder on her. And eventually, as I grew up, there was a tension between my Texas identity and my European identity. And my mother made sure I was raised knowing that the European was better and that the Texan was a little backwards. And I did not grow up identifying with my Texas roots at all. I was much more an effete, artistic, autistic European kid. And it was not until adulthood, when I had moved away from Texas, when I was living in California, in fact, that I picked up the novel Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry, which of course is very famous and a lot of people have talked about it. But what stunned me not only the amazing writing and the incredible length and depth and tapestry and humor in this, but I found myself profoundly recognizing and identifying something about these Texas men. They can't speak to women. They can't articulate their emotions. They're tough but soft. They're, very imperfect, but of a type that I recognized not just in the men in my life as a kid, but in myself as an adult. And it was the novel Lonesome Dove that for the first time in my life, and I was in my mid-20s, I suddenly felt love for my Texas heritage that I never had before. When I did this drawing and won a ribbon at the Texas Livestock Show and Rodeo, it was an affectation. I was putting on a character I was selling to the market, doing subjects I thought it would understand, but it wasn't internalized. I now just genuinely feel a closeness to my complex and not always pretty cowboy heritage that helps me understand myself and my DNA and my family better than I ever have before. And it was because of McMurtry's book, a novel, fiction, that helped me connect with my own reality in a way I never had before. Anyway, I have been intending to write a more detailed essay on this subject, but I thought just this morning with the sun and just thinking about that, I'd just pop on and tell this little story. Anyway, have you ever been conflicted about the various roots, the places that you come from, the things that inform you? It's tough out there because there's no simple binaries anymore in the world. Everyone is multiracial, multicultural, multinational now in a way that I don't think we've adapted to and fully recognized. Interested in your thoughts. Anyway, take care, my friends. From this old cowboy to you. Ciao.